Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, and we're live. We are live with our friend Sin. I got to turn this way with our friend Sin, or Sinica, you may know her as, or most importantly, her channel is Sinfully Good, and it really is sinfully good, Sin. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've
Not a
been looking
problem.
forward to this all week. I love food, as you can tell, and I
Yeah,
love to cook. And I've tried out your recipes, and they're amazing. And
thank
I
you.
just I love spending time with you. So we're gonna talk food today. This
Sounds
is
good.
awesome.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. I'm glad to be here. I mean, I'm not normally up at this hour, but but I made an exception and got up for Marilyn. So here we are.
Thank you.
Hey
Hey
Joe.
Joe, how are ya? Hey George.
Hi
Hey.
George. Good to meet you.
Joe, I love food and cooking too. Everyone has to eat, right? So,
Yes.
this is a great topic. Great to see you two collaborating. Yeah,
Yeah.
I when I first saw you live, Sin, on I think it was Chad's pre-show. I
Yeah.
was like, I like that lady. I'm like, I gotta have her on my channel.
Oh wow.
She's
Yeah.
great.
I that was my first live, and so I was a little nervous.
No,
But,
you did great.
my boss and my mentor, I don't know if those who've been on my channel and seen, I saw him yesterday. We caught up. But he absolutely I used to be on a mic in a grocery store, and he
Oh,
absolutely loved me because I didn't shut up.
hey, you gotta have the gift to gab to be on YouTube, I think, and,
Yeah,
I think you have it. You have, what they call it. You have a great personality, and
thank
you
you.
are authority on your topic. You're a great cook. You're just fun, and you're way ahead of me with the technical stuff and the production values. I
Ah,
just love your channel, and
thank you so
I
much.
like spending time with you. So, Pup Groomer, good
Hello,
morning.
puppy
Just
groomer.
saying hi to everyone coming in. John, can you say his last name? I call him Scooby Dooski.
Sistowski.
Stowski.
I hope I didn't butcher it too bad, John. Hello.
Team Kielbasa. He loves himself some kielbasa.
Oh, kielbasa, I love it. That John, you need to check out the sausage stew because I use kielbasa in that.
Ooh, nice.
Hello,
Uh,
Joel.
yes, our friend Joel. Hey, greetings from Colorado. I love this time of
How are
day.
the pets this morning, Joel? Kitties and pups, your rescue
Yes, give us
pets.
an update, Joel. Definitely. Absolutely.
I used to be a veterinary assistant back in the day in an
Oh,
emergency
that's
clinic.
right. I remember
And
you saying
so
that.
yeah, I'm very pet oriented, very animal oriented. So
It seems like everyone I've talked to pretty much in the SPTV
yeah,
universe there, are definitely animal people.
yeah.
So,
I see
you said
Freezy news.
your stew sounds good,
Thank
and
you.
FXP, hello from Clearwater, Wisconsin, East.
Hello, hello.
East. Hello. Hello back. So this is just such a welcome, topic for me because, I've been doing a series, we call it I've been calling it kind of cult kids because we've been
Hmm.
kind of exploring the different things that kids go through when they're born and or raised in a
Saw
cult.
that.
And I had my own daughter on the other day, and that was emotional.
Mhm.
I went through half a box of Kleenex, and then
Oh my,
last night I went through
that
another
Liz.
half. Oh my goodness, yes,
That hers was she was very powerful. I caught the
absolutely.
tail end of it. I was doing my animation that we were talking about earlier, and I looked over and I'm like, oh, they're live. Crap! And I clicked on, so I caught the tail end of it. And the minute I walked into to that, it was like immediately hit with, oh my god, Liz needs a great big hug. Um,
Yeah,
so I missed
absolutely.
most of it, but I caught the tail end, and she is just what's happened with her is so
Oh,
powerful.
yeah,
You
she's
know,
so strong, resilient,
yeah,
and yeah, I was just kind of settling into crochet last night, and she called me up and she's like, "Hey, you want to do a live?" And I'm like, "Anything for you? Sure." So
yeah.
I
Oh, she's welcome to come onto my channel anytime.
yeah, she she likes to talk food too. She's so cute. I just love her. The second gens are just they're just so dear to
Yeah.
me. They're
Well, it's
great.
really funny because she's probably one that I could really do some tapping into, because she grew up in Sea Org. So, I've been trying.
Yeah.
It's been kind of difficult to get. I want to do some of the Sea Org meals that they had to
She
deal with.
talks about scrambled eggs all the time.
Yeah,
So maybe you can work
do
with her
some.
on a good scrambled egg
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
technique and recipe.
Um, and then of course they have the dinners, and I finally got Aaron to talk about the blueberry cobbler. But the funny part about it is that I couldn't get any more information. So there's 3 ways to make cobbler, and so I literally was emailing him, emailing Claire. I was just everybody I could think of, and finally I got on with Amy and Claire, and I just yelled in the chat. It's like, what kind? And I got my answer there, which is where the blueberry cobbler came from.
So the cobbler is either what, a crumb topping or more of like a cake topping? Like what are the different types?
The
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, the one that I make, the cherry one, is the cake type. There is one that is more pie type, and you have to understand what cobbler really actually is. It was a case of, um, wanted to make a pie, but wanted to make it quickly and easily.
Mhm.
So that's how cobbler was developed.
Right, right.
And so it started out as a sweet pie crust, baked into the filling instead of covering it. And then they went to the cake, and then finally what Aaron was talking about was actually what we call a crumble, which is
Crumble.
has the stuff
Yeah.
on top, and so that's what ended
Yeah.
up doing.
Yeah, we call it in New England, we call it apple crisp,
Yeah,
we just
yeah,
call it apple crisp. It's a
yeah.
crispy topping. Yep. I have the old-fashioned Betty Crocker cookbook from the '50s.
I
It
have
was
that.
yeah, it was it was Duncan's grandmother's.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because it's got like pictures, or not pictures, but like drawings of the women looking like, June Cleaver and
Yes.
having
Uh-huh.
little things about greeting your husband at the door with a ribbon in your hair and stuff like that. Okay, whatever.
Well,
Duncan's the one that does the baking in my house, actually.
yeah, well, back in the day, there was probably a lot less of greeting your husband at the door and nothing but an apron. They were a little bit more reserved back then.
I don't, I don't think I ever had a ribbon in my hair because I said, put a ribbon in your hair. I'm like, I don't think I ever have my whole life. We got the dog
Oh,
going. We're laughing too much.
yeah, the dogs, they heard something. A leaf blew by or whatever.
Joe said, interesting. Crumble has a different meaning in the UK, a topping for usually apple, but sometimes other cooked fruit made from flour and butter only.
Ah, so yeah, here
Interesting.
in the States, we use flour, butter, and some seasonings like cinnamon and that type of stuff, and rolled oats.
Rolled oats. Yep. That's what I
Yeah,
use too.
yeah.
Yeah. And you kind of chop it up a little bit so it makes it like
It's
crumbly.
basically you put it in there and you use your hands and just
Mm,
kind of work the butter into the butter and flour into the oats,
mhm.
and the warmth from your hand melts it just a bit, just enough to have it
Ah,
come
interesting.
together.
Ah,
So so you end up with these clumps of oats and flour and seasonings and butter, and that's what it is.
oh, I get it.
So
Lots of rice and beans.
some
Oh,
beans.
talking about Sea Org food.
Yeah, I have one rice and beans up.
Yeah.
Actually, the big thing is the beans to get the flavor into the beans. So I did the cowboy
Mhm.
beans, rice and beans. I want to do a Cajun one. I need to get with Marcus on that one, but I want to do a Cajun one,
Yep.
something along the lines of a jambalaya, which is a rice based dish.
Nice.
And there's a lot of different ways you can do rice and beans. It's just kind of interesting.
Mm.
So
Oh,
yes.
we got a question. Sugar and the crumble
Yes, a
mix
little bit
on the
of
top.
sugar.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
agreed. Yes.
Yep.
Off the top of my head, it's one of those things. I still run a recipe as I'm cooking. I have a recipe kind of off camera. It's in a notebook that I've written, and I kind of, I refer to it pretty often. It's not something that you see me do, but I definitely will look at it and see what it says and go from there. So, but it's one that I've come up with and written. And that also, a lot of times when I'm doing those videos, I will make subtle changes to what my initial recipe was, and so that notebook's there with a pen so they can write it down and do that. Late for lunch sounds good.
Hey,
I
Sophia.
have
Yeah, food
no
talk
hello.
during late lunch. That's awesome.
Awesome.
And we've got a little comment from Joel. Yesterday, I worked a fundraising auction for a feral cat rescue. I have done about
Rescue.
50 of them in the past 26 years. It was a great day. Raised over
Awesome.
10,000 for local rescues. Wow.
That's awesome, Joel. Amazing. You do such good work.
Amazing. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hello, Chad.
Yes, we got Chad coming in. Hey, Chado. Good to see you. And I think I saw Miss Joni. I'm trying to find her first. Hello. I gotta scroll all the way up. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, we'll just
Hello, Joni.
she's saying hi, everybody. She's saying hi to Joe. Good to see you, Joni. Thanks everyone for getting up. Oh, there's the man of the hour. You know, I was doing my hair, getting ready for this, listening to From a Poet. They were hilarious and,
I'm gonna have to be.
inspiring.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the rewatch crew.
They were
I
great.
was trying to wake up and get my hair done and walk dogs.
It was awesome. It was Mrs. J and
Mhm.
Poet and Liz Gale, and
Mhm.
they were so funny. You know, in the UK, 420 went by, so Mrs. J like, "It's 420, everybody." So, you know, they're partaking. And I think
Oh
it's like
wow.
8 o'clock in the morning for Liz Gale. She's like, "I'll just drink coffee." But they read some great poems, and I'll have to
Yeah.
get the end of it. But yeah, they were
Yeah, I was
just a hoot.
teasing Marilyn all week is when she first talked to me about it, and she told me what time. I said, "Okay, I'll get up at the butt crack of dawn."
It's earlier for you, yeah.
Yeah, it's about an
And you
hour
were up late.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and you were up late, and I was up late. Yeah. So, everybody's
Oh,
coming in. If
really?
anyone has any food questions,
Yeah, Frizino's got something here.
okay. Simply good. I
Uh,
always have to modify jambalaya recipes as I'm allergic to
Allergic to
pork. Oh,
pork.
hmm.
Wow. There are some things that you can do. I mean, I'm thinking you might be able to get away with beef, but I mean, obviously it's not going to be the same thing. Um, but uh, you could do chicken. A dark meat chicken would work.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I'm trying to, of course, there's interesting like meats like emu would really work. It's kind of porky.
Ooh,
So those kind of things might work for you. They're hard to come by, but yeah.
tends to
You could
use
use
turkey
turkey
sausage.
sauce.
Yeah, you
That
get the
works.
flavor. Yeah, that
Mhm.
makes sense. That makes
Mhm.
sense.
Yeah. So that's a really good, you know, substitution. It a lot of people have to work around certain allergies. Now, I'm fortunate to not have any food allergies, which yay, that I know of. I do have an allergy to artificial sweeteners, so things like NutraSweet, and
Oh,
I have to be
yeah.
very careful with. Um, but and what's funny is stevia. We discovered I was really allergic to because I mean, mouth went numb and tongue started to swell, and so it's down Benadryl and
Really?
ER trip. You know,
Oh my god. What about, what is that, erythritol Swerve?
Swerve. I do
Erythritol?
use it. I tolerate it in small amounts.
Mhm.
So there is a product called Botcha Sweet. It's made from the kombucha um, squash,
Oh,
and it is made here in the States. It's I want to say she's in Montana, but it's really expensive. I mean, it's like
wow.
12 to 15 bucks for a pound. So it's way up there. So I have some and to use. I have both their powdered and their granular, but
Mhm.
it's very rare that I use it. I'm very careful about it.
Have you
It
tried
is
monk
really
fruit?
expensive.
Monk
I have
fruit
tried monk fruit, which usually is also got a monk fruit's usually a monk
has a
fruit and
mixture. Yeah.
erythritol. Yeah,
Yeah.
erythritol. And again, I can use it, but I've got to be really sparing with it. If I use too much or too much over a period of time, then I will start to have gastric issues. So
Oh, that
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
headaches and gastric issues. That's the
From
two
a poet.
things.
The only food I'm allergic to is food that sucks.
Sucks. That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
funny. Freezy new project. Well, I use a lot of turkey. I love how the meat holds spices and it works for
Works for
me.
you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And turkey's a really good substitution for a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Trying to unstar things and I
I
end
hear
up
you.
popping them up. That's why Poe calls me double tap.
Double tap. Yeah, it was like both of us were headed to Z News and you got it up first and I was like, okay, I'm not touching.
Oh, yeah, you can click. I'm gonna put up Joe's
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
I'll put
fine.
up Joe's.
I have
Uh,
not.
Go ahead. You can when you read that one
Have
because
you
I don't
have
know how
you
to
ever
pronounce it.
tried cat? I don't know how to pronounce that either. So obviously I've never tried it.
Cash.
Kashk.
Yeah.
It's a yogurt-based solid thing that used in Central Asia and elsewhere. It's like cream cheese and has a great taste, but almost no fat. So I use it instead of cheese.
Oh wow.
I have never heard of it. I
Mhm.
haven't seen it here. Um, Sounds interesting. I love cream cheese. I will,
Me
I
too.
love it. I work with cream cheese quite a bit. And my dog actually loves, she's on medications of Miss Sabbath. And so one of them I can't break. It's a capsule, which I could break open and put in, but it tastes so bad she won't eat her dinner. So
Wow.
I hide the whole capsule in a piece of cream cheese. She downs it.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah. Made with gator. Wow.
Me with Gator.
Oh, I was looking at Pup Groomer 20's comment there.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna star these so we don't miss them.
Okay. Chef Sin, I'm in the same with artificial sweetener. Sucralose makes me have body. Yeah. Um, Interestingly enough,
Mm,
sucralose is, I've worked with it
I don't like
and
it.
I just, yeah, it's not a fave. It does create the same issues I have with some of the others, but it's, I would much rather use the erythritol. Now, the problem with the erythritol is that in the back end of it, what you taste, you get a very cooling effect. So a lot of times if you're tasting something like in fact, I'm going to do this for Reese here soon, as soon as I make it. But there's a fudge because I know she's diabetic and I know she loves her fudge. So I make a fudge that it's a low carb, but it's made with marshmallows and their marshmallows are easy to make. With marshmallows using the swerve, and then you put the marshmallows and mix them in with the chocolate and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of fantasy fudge. It used to be on the back of the can of marshmallow fluff.
Oh, yeah, I remember it, being never fail fudge or something like that. That's
Yeah,
what mine said. Never
yeah.
fail fudge.
Some people have never fail.
Yeah.
Here it was fantasy fudge, and I
Ooh, that
found
sounds
a
better.
low carb, sugar free recipe for that, and done my little adjustments to it as I always do.
Mhm.
And I'm probably gonna pull together a batch of that and FedEx it over to Reese with the recipe, letting so that she can
Nice.
have as much fudge as she wants without
Right,
really screwing up her blood sugars.
right.
So
So I started about 6
yeah,
questions so far, so if you wanna go into the start and you can click away, and I'll just keep starring things as they come up. How's that?
okay.
That work?
Sounds good. Let's see. This is
Alright.
the first one. Okay, you just did that one. So yes,
Oh, whoops, sorry.
I'm I'm the same way here. We'll do this. Pup groomer had
There you go.
jambalaya made with gator before. It's different, but you're in the South. Gator isn't hard to get. It's still hard to get.
Is
I'm
it?
not in Louisiana. In Louisiana, it's pretty easy to get, but I'm in South Central Texas. So it's a little bit more difficult for me to get, but I have had it when I lived in Beaumont. I got to experiment with a lot of those types of foods, and gator was interesting. I'm iffy on crawfish. I'm certainly not going to suck the heads. We're not going there, but but the
Oh,
tails
right.
aren't too bad. So I'll use them quite a bit. But in Louisiana, they'll do possum and raccoon and all
Really?
kinds of stuff. Yes, I mean, when you're living out in the bayous, you eat what you can get. It's not a case of I can go to the grocery store. Um, you know, no matter
Mhm.
what, I hop in the car and go to the grocery. No, you got to hop in your skiff and go down to where some place where that you can, get to you know what I'm saying? It's not an easy task. It's like living out in the middle of nowhere and having to drive 50 miles to go to the grocery store. I mean, it's just kind of how it is. So
Wow.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Went with local honey as a sweetener from my favorite pumpkin farm. They have a pumpkin flower. That sounds really good. The problem with honey is it's very high on the glycemic index,
Ah,
and so it is still considered. It's like agave. The agave syrup, that sweetener. I thought,
mhm.
oh, I can do this because I
Right.
wasn't reacting to it, and then I actually looked at it, and guess what? It is a sugar. It's literally sugar. So I might as well just be
Yeah.
putting it's not processed, and
Right.
that's the good thing about honey. You don't have the processed issue, but
Mhm.
it's still a sugar, therefore it does spike my blood sugar. So, you know, I would love to be able to do that. I do honey on occasion, but it's usually like I'll throw it on a biscuit or a piece of toast, you
Right.
know. So let's see. I'd love for you to do a recipe for the Big Kahuna burger. I'd have to look that up. I'm not entirely sure what that is. So I'll tell you what, for Easy New, I will do so. Let me write that down. I need to take notes for those people. I do that. And basically, what you're doing right here is doing a piece that I like to call challenge me. And let me write this down. Okay, it's on my list. For Easy No, I will look for it.
Oh, it says
Anyway,
inspired by Pulp Fiction. I don't remember that.
I don't either. I'm not a big movie person.
My kids love Pulp Fiction.
Now I can probably ask my husband, who is a huge movie person, or my son, and they will probably give me an idea of what it's talking
Of course, it
about.
has pineapple,
I must
pineapple
have
on it.
pineapple.
Mhm.
Um, doesn't sound. There goes my son. Sorry.
It's okay.
um, doesn't sounds like maybe it's got an interesting. Maybe it's got spam in it. Who knows? You know, spam's
Ham
a big thing,
slice
and
that.
yeah,
Just the one I'm looking at, ham slices, cheese slices, onion, yeah, ginger, soy
yeah,
sauce.
yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Oh,
good.
okay, okay, yeah. That sounds really good, actually.
Oh, look at
There's
this. Great.
some grilled pineapple on it.
Mhm.
Joel, Sin, we made the A-Ron sandwiches last night. Boy, were they great. My wife loved them. Another great easy meal. Thanks. You are so welcome. And that particular one is a lot of fun. Um, I just saw Steve-O's. But
The
that
little
that
wise
particular
guy.
one was a lot of fun to do. And the funnest part was I'm trying to do recipes that, in fact, Marilyn, I need to get your permission to change the name of the steak marsala, your
Of
recipe, to
course.
actually put your name on it. But I'm trying to
Oh,
do
sure, of
recipes
course.
with um all of the personalities. So like Reese will get the fudge, and Aaron got the French dip because that was something he newly discovered and really went crazy for. So, but
Right.
trying to get his permission was really fun because he doesn't tend to see anything but the super chats, and I'm sitting there screaming in his chat, Aaron, can I, and I'd send him a couple of emails and that type of stuff. And finally, I got my super chat to work, and I really quickly threw it in there, and it was like he said he would be honored. So that's where that one came
Nice.
from. But it is when we made it. I mean, I'm already getting. We made it a couple weeks ago. I'm already getting the. Can we do that again? Yeah. so
Mhm.
so it was a lot of fun to do. Substituted cream cheese. I'm sorry. I cannot mock tree. My
We just
brother's
call her
name is
Sophia. Her name's Sophia,
Sophia.
she said.
Yeah, I am horrid with names, so I will struggle with that till I finally remember that. But Sophia, okay. I substitute cream cheese with coconut-based natural yogurt recently, and it works well. That's actually a really good idea. Um, it's interesting. I mean, a lot of people worry about fat. Now, here's the thing I want to tell you guys, and if you're dealing with trying to lose weight and that kind of stuff, or if you have what I have, be type 2 diabetes, is that if you go to something that they say is fat free, um, but they take the fat as flavor. That's what makes things good. So if you go to something that is fat free, what they do is they haul out all the fat and they throw in carbohydrates to make it taste good.
Mhm.
Well, if you're someone like me with a blood sugar issue, those carbohydrates, once they hit your system, turn into what? Sugar. So it spikes your blood sugar. So you're better off actually having the higher fat that will basically
Right.
get your body running. It will fuel your body. Than you are with carbohydrates, which turn into sugar to fuel your body. So you force your body to use the fats instead of the
Right.
sugars. The downside is that your doctor will probably look at it and go, "What are you doing? Why are your cholesterol levels so high?" I actually got that, and I looked at my doctor. I said, as we were talking about it, I looked at him and said, "Well, look at the breakdown. Don't look at total cholesterol. Look at the breakdown. Is it good cholesterol? Is it bad cholesterol that's
Right.
high?" And granted, you have to realize if you're storing fat, if you're doing it for weight loss, your body is storing those sugars and those fats. And with that, it's storing cholesterol. So, yes, you're going to get a spike in your bad cholesterol as your body breaks down those fats. So
Right.
that gets into your bloodstream. So that's kind of the thing. But if you're really wanting to, if you're doing it for diabetes, you want to stay away, keep your cholesterol, not your cholesterol, your carbohydrates low. My
No. Mhm.
carbohydrates are limited to 50 net grams per day. If you're doing
Oh.
keto, which is kind of that's Dr. Berg's little deal, and I don't like him, and most of us don't,
Right. Yeah.
you know. But if you're actually doing keto, they want your net carbs below 20 grams per day. So that you see, when I'm doing low carb, I'm not exactly doing keto. I don't want it to go into ketosis. To me,
No, it
ketosis
doesn't.
is too close to ketoacidosis, and I
Yeah,
don't want to
me
go there.
too. Yeah, that's what I always think of too. It's a little scary.
Yeah, but coconut has it has what we call, I think, moderate chain, what do they call it? Moderate chain something or other. But anyway, and it's actually a good fat that is in coconuts. It's one of those things like people use it really a lot in the keto low carb world because of it's a good fat. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, coconut, yeah.
So yeah. Um, let's see, Joel. My wife used your channel as a reason to get an instant pot. So
Yeah.
that instant pot
Nice.
saves your life.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you
Love it.
come home and you say, "Oh my God, I forgot to take out the roast for dinner tonight." You can
Mhm.
throw that roast in there frozen and it'll
Mhm.
cook. So I have done it. Season it up, throw it in there, get sear as best you can, put the beef broth in there, close the top, and add about 10 minutes. You
Yeah, I
know,
love it. I love it. Yeah. It's
it will save
it's
your
like
life.
having a crock pot, but not the 8 hours that it takes, and the
Exactly.
old-fashioned pressure cookers were so scary, like, I was just too
Mm,
intimidated. My mother-in-law
yeah.
had one, I swear she was gonna blow up the damn house, like, every time she used it, so it's like, "No,
I had
no,
a
thank you."
friend. I had a friend who made God, what was it? It was that praline stuff, like the Mexican candy where they use the sweetened condensed milk,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she put it
Yeah,
in
in the
a
crock pot.
pressure cooker, no pressure cooker, and old-timey pressure cooker. And
Oh, nice.
she said she did it all the time. It was something that she always did. And this particular day, she blew the top off the pressure cooker, and of course, then she had these caramel stalactites hanging from the ceiling, you know. I mean, it was really kind of funny. It was a really kind of funny story. But yeah,
Oh my god,
those things
stalactite.
yeah, those things were scary. I had seen them blow, one direction or another and put a hole in the wall, you know? It's
Oh
just
my
you
god.
thank God no one was in the
That's
way, you know?
crazy.
But yeah, so she will love that Instant Pot. Tell her to look online. I will try to get something up about Instant Pots, times, and that type of stuff.
Mhm,
They will give you there's certain things that will give you like cook this for so long if this, that type of thing. So I'll try to get something up
mhm.
on the channel
Nice.
addressing that. I'll work on that, Joel. So tell her that's coming since she's new to it. Nice to know Texas is represented well. I'm in Houston. If you're in Houston, you know where this is, Paula. I graduated from Clear Lake High School in Houston, down in Clear Lake area. I had my neighbors were the astronauts. That's how I knew Amy Scobie's uncle.
Yeah.
Um, is that he literally lived down the street. You made a right and you went down and you ran right into his house. So, I mean, that's how close he was. And then I had Fred Gregory was my next door neighbor. He ended up being one of the pilots on I think a couple of missions, and then he ended up being the head of the that area at NASA. He was actually one of the big. You live in Nassau Bay, so you live close. Yeah, Nassau Bay is not very far from where Clear Lake is. So yeah, I hear ya.
Nice.
All right, Denver. Why are you ladies in during my sleep hours? Denver, she made
Denver
me
sleep
get
out.
up, so I'm not going to be very sympathetic to that. Cuz it's my sleep
Sorry.
hours too, my friend.
It's noon here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pup groomer. I'm from Central Florida, not far from Clearwater. But back in the day, it was all country, so we had a lot of natural meat. Yep. As long as it wasn't roadkill stew, we're cool. I mean, I think some of those Louisiana boys, and I'll have to ask Marcus about that, but some of them Louisiana boys will drive down the road and pick up whatever's there, and they call it roadkill stew. Whatever they
Eh,
find.
uh, uh.
Just yeah, I'm not a fan.
Oh my god.
Free Xenu. I know a few people that are lactose intolerant. Yeah, yes, and it's interesting how many things have lactose in it. Yes, I do. If anybody is lactose intolerant, and they sit there and they watch everybody eat their mashed potatoes, which has a lot of butter and a lot of milk in it. It's there is a way to do mashed potatoes and not have any dairy. And basically, what you do is instead of using your milk and your butter, you use olive oil. And you can
Oh,
use flavored olive oil, like a garlic infused or, a lemon infused or rosemary, any of those things. You can use some of the Italian seasonings, that type of stuff. You can use those in your potatoes. So basically, what you do is you get your potatoes mashed up somewhat, and then you add olive oil and continue to get them mashed until you get to the consistency you want. You can add olive oil as you go, but that is a lactose-free mashed potato. So you guys can have your mashed potatoes now. In fact, they're really good. So if you're lactose
mm,
intolerant, there's a lot of things you can do. Some of the nut milks you can substitute. It's kind of it's hard for me to figure out how those are going to work. I haven't really worked with it, so I will try to do a little bit of work and experimentation, and I will experiment here at home and see what it does before I actually move into it. But yeah, garlic is your favorite spice.
yeah, mine
Have you
too.
done there is a video for Xenu that I did. It's called garlic confit. And the neat thing about the garlic confit is get two things. You get the garlic ends up being really soft like butter. Okay, when
Yep.
you're done with it. So
I'll
basically,
see
what
that now.
confit is you take, you can do it with duck and fish and that type of stuff. But with the garlic, I'll start with it. You drop a bunch of garlic into olive oil, and you set your stove as low as it will go, and you just let it sit and let it do its thing. And when you look at it, there won't be any frying, that type of thing. May get a little bubbling because the garlic's releasing some of the air in it,
Mhm.
but um, it will infuse that olive oil with that garlic flavor. You have to use it pretty quick because it doesn't hang out very long, but probably about a week or two is about as long as you can use that infused olive oil. But you also get these wonderful buttery nuggets of garlic. So if you're going to make
Mhm.
garlic bread,
Yeah.
you know, just spread those on. You mash them up
I've
and
done
spread them
that.
on like butter.
Yeah, with, like, a whole garlic bulb, you just
Hmm.
kinda lop
Bake
off
it
the
in the oven.
top, put
Bake it in
some
the
yeah,
oven.
just bake it in the oven, roast it in the oven, and it
Hmm.
just comes out and it spreads like butter. Yeah, I love
Oh
it.
yeah, it's amazing. But
Yeah.
the neat thing about the doing it as a confit is you get the added bonus of all that olive oil that's now
Yeah.
infused. So that's part of the reason why I do that. So let's see, I did that one. All right, Sophia, right? God, I hope I got that right.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
Freezing new project. I'm very sensitive to soy and moderately sensitive to lactose, and I don't like sweetened stuff. So it's the perfect solution. Yeah, I can see that. I can truly see that. Um,
Mhm.
it's something that I hadn't thought of, but great idea, Sophia. I mean, you have to adapt when things like that come along. Today's use was in mango curry. Mango curry chicken. So,
Mm.
guys, here's the thing. Um, I will if you guys have recipes that you like, and this is an open invitation to you guys. If you guys have recipes that you like that you think you would like to share with the world on YouTube, um, feel free to email me. My email is in my about uh section of my channel. Feel free to email it to me, and you will get credit for that recipe. I will not take credit for it. If I don't know if when you watch it, you'll notice some say sinfully and some don't. The
Mhm.
sinfully is the ones that I have, developed. Those are ones that I own, and then the others are ones like my grandmother's cherry cobbler. Did the traditional chocolate cobbler that went up yesterday. That's an old recipe from back in mid 20th century. And it's a pantry staple recipe. So most people have all their ingredients sitting in their pantry, so it makes it a whole lot easier. The Papa G's spaghetti sauce, you'll notice that they don't have Sinfully. And the reason they don't have Sinfully is because those aren't recipes that I developed. Those are recipes from someone else. And so I'm giving them the credit. So like if you have Sophia, if you said you wanted to put your mango curry chicken, would like to have it, I will make it and video it and put it up there, but you will get the credit. So to me,
Nice.
it's very important to give the credit to the author of the recipe, not to take it and say, oh well, yeah, this is a great recipe, I'm going to steal it and put my name on it. I'm not going to do that. So
And what's your what's your email address, Sin? I know that your
I think it's
handle is at Sinful Good.
sinfully good or sinful good.
Sinfully
And
Good.
it should be sinfulgood at gmail.com, because that's why I had to do the tag on the YouTube as sinful good, is because Google wouldn't let me have sinfully good.
Alrighty.
So it should be sinfulgood at gmail.com.
Alrighty.
So
Let me
that's
just ask
that's
them
great.
for it.
Sorry for the dogs. They leaf flew by.
We understand.
My husband's gonna yell at him now and try to get him to shut up. Wonder what
Oh.
I'm gonna come up with for you. I am going to probably get to know you as well as I can, and listen to see if you give me a hint. I mean, obviously, biscuits and gravy is a possibility on the list because you were talking about them on my channel the other day. So that might be a biscuits and gravy recipe. And I remember you saying it was not sausage gravy; it was cream gravy. So, yeah, I'll work with that. But we'll come up with something, Brian. I will definitely have something for you. Um, I kind of try to listen to see what people happen to mention, that they like, and I take the note and I will work on it. So that's how that works. So realize that I am really listening to what you're saying when you're talking about food. Because if you give me something that you really like, then I will write that down. So
Definitely.
Free Xena, the Big Kahuna Burger is a burger joint in a lot of Tarantino. Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Quentin
Tarantino
Tarantino.
movies. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino. It doesn't exist, but it is considered a Hawaiian burger joint. Apparently, a Tatsi burger. I haven't
Tasty,
heard
maybe?
T
I don't know.
A Tatsi is what it looks
Yeah,
like.
they must have came up with recipes because when I
Could
Googled
be.
it, they just was like, "Oh, this, inspired by Pulp Fiction," or whatever, but I guess it's in other Quentin
I'll have
Tarantino
to.
movies too.
I guess I'll have to go watch that part of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember that at all, actually.
Can I just say hi to
Sure,
somebody
sure.
special? Liz Ferris.
Liz, hello, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Big hugs from me. I don't know if you
Yes.
saw, but I was trying to give you big hugs yesterday.
Big hugs, honey.
I
Yeah,
am
we love you.
so glad to see you. I don't worry about weight. I just want to use the lactose I can handle for cheesecake rather than stuff I can't. Oh yeah, and
Mhm.
Greek yogurt's actually really good for cheesecake as well.
Oh, I could see
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Greek yogurt does a really good job as for cheesecake. I'll have to do one that I I try to do sections of things like you see Chad's the single parent one, the single parent guide to simple meals. That's the one I did for Chad. And and then you'll see there's sort of that sensational sides and salad soups and those types of things. That's I try to do them in sections. So I'll start working on some lactose free as I get into my low carb, because I do still want to do the low carb area, and so that people like me and Reese and I'm sure there are many others of you out there that are diabetic or that type of thing that could use a way to make your favorite. I have a philosophy is if you grow up eating certain foods, certain things you really like,
Mhm.
and when you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, a lot of that stuff becomes something you can't have because of all the carbs in it. And so my belief, honest to God, is that if you are not allowed to have all those things that you so much love to eat and you grew up eating, then you're destined to failure on any meal plan or diet, um, because you're going to crave those things that you like. So, is there a way to take those things that you like and to make them
Modify
less
'em.
carby? And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
that's what I'm working on. That's my that's how this all started. Actually, my initial idea for my channel was going to be to make the original and then make the low carb version, and then have unknowingly these guys back here would test it, and if they said it was good, then we knew it was a good recipe. Because if they didn't know, and my husband is like, low carb, what are you doing? I'm not doing that. If I can get that through him and he likes it,
Right. Yeah.
then it's
Mhm.
good. It's like the lasagna. I mean, I do have a low carb lasagna, guys. I
Yeah,
do.
someone just popped that up. I'm
Yeah.
pre-diabetic. I make lasagna with sliced yellow squash instead of pasta.
Okay. So what I do instead of pasta is I have an actual recipe where I make the noodle. It's not. It's literally cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, Italian seasoning, and egg. Okay.
Really?
That's
Wow.
what it is, and you take it and you
Mhm.
mix all that up, and it started out it's a fathead dough is
I
how
was gonna
it's
say, it sounds like
fathead
the pizza
base.
dough that yeah.
Yeah, it's fathead base,
Yeah. Yep,
but what it
fathead.
is I get it thin enough that you can spread it. So I put it on a big square baking sheet, and I spread it really, really thin, and then I
Really?
bake it. So it became, and then I cut it into the size of my pan, in
Yeah.
strips. So
I
it's
gotta
like
try that.
lasagna. Yeah, so it's like a lasagna. But the neat thing about it is that you put it in your pan. They're playing back behind me. You put it in your pan, and as it bakes with the lasagna, it's slightly bready, so it soaks
Yeah.
up all of that juice, but it's not thick. So, you're not getting this big thick hunk of bread. You're getting this really thin,
I gotta try that.
very soaked up. I'll do that. It's a little bit of an expensive meal to make because of how I
Uh,
do it. I use a lot of
s-
Italian sausage
someone
and
someone
all kinds of
saying
stuff.
that lasagna sounds amazing.
Hey, Mark. Blown for good. Yeah.
Hey, we
Would you
all
rather
like
have that
food.
than the apple pie there, Mark, named after you?
Why stop at one? You gotta have a sweet and a savory, right?
Yeah, there is that. There is that. Well, I have to get everybody represented, and then I can go back and do seconds for everybody.
Well, everyone's got to eat. And I tell you, this week has been so intense with talking about
Oh, yeah.
Scientology and cult kids and everything. So I like to
Mhm.
do these fun day Sunday streams to just kind of relax and listen to dogs squeak toys in the
I am
background.
so
And
sorry about the
so,
bunch of
oh no, I
idiots over
love
here.
it. No, I love it. It just, my
Oh,
puppies are doing
please.
the same thing in the other room. But
Yeah.
it's great to just talk about some creative things because we like coffee cult. Well, we don't like cults, but we like to
We
talk
don't like
about
cults, but we're kind of a
anti-cults, right?
cult on our own, though, if you think about it. I mean, we have a lot of very charismatic people that kind of get out there and put their voice out there. And we have a lot of people who follow us, but the key part of it is that if you want to leave, I'm not going to mess with you.
No,
I'm not going to do
right,
anything to you. If that's what you want to do, that's
right.
your
And if you
choice.
disagree with us,
If you disagree,
like
let us
you
know. I
wash
mean,
your
I'm
windows the
willing.
way the hell you want, and you make your,
Yeah.
your food the way you
And
want.
and the funny thing is, you may or may not agree with me. I'm willing to talk to you. You can change my good luck, but you can change my mind. I'm a Texan, I'm a Taurus, and I'm a redhead. Okay, uh, and stubborn as all get out, and a Texan. We all know how we are. Um, so it's very difficult to change my mind, but I can have things, and if you give me really good facts, and I weigh it and I go look at it and say, oh well, yeah, there is that point, you know I'm willing to do that. So yeah. I By the way, Mark, I am not going to mess with your Yorkshire pudding. I hear it's amazing, and
Ah,
Claire suggested I try
this
the
one's so
tuna
good.
salad, and I hear yours is also amazing. And if she really likes it, I certainly don't want to mess with it. So,
See, I'm a savory. I'm a savory girl. I mean, I
mhm.
love bread and bread pudding and bread, anything with bread. When
Oh
you were
yeah.
talking about the confit with the garlic and everything, I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah. Garlic confit is it's one of the
All
easiest
about
things to
that.
do. It's
I gotta
literally you
try
put
that.
it on your lowest setting and walk away. I mean, it's really simple. So let's see, Sophia, I don't worry about weight. I just want to use the lactose I can handle for cheese. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Sorry, I did that one twice. Whoops.
That's okay. Double tap. I do it all the time. That's
Oh
why
my
Poe
goodness.
on the go calls me double tap.
She's gonna get me
Caramel.
to caramel stalactites. Now those sound delicious, but also amazing. Yeah, but trying to get them off your ceiling when you're cleaning is a real, yeah, it's a real job.
Yeah, so don't don't use a pressure cooker to try to make caramel, I guess,
No.
especially an old-fashioned one.
Well, caramel's really easy to make. I mean, you throw sugar in a pan, heat it up, get it melting, and throw some butter at it. I mean, and a little bit of heavy cream. That's caramel.
Yeah.
So, very easy.
Oh, that's a good
Good
question.
recipe for after work.
Good question.
Um, there are a few really quick ones. It depends on how much time you're talking about after work. If you're wanting something really quick, that chicken and rice is like 20 minutes. The one that I did for the single parents. And I don't know, you can get rice roni and do that. It makes it so much easier. Using things that are premixes like that, really, if you're talking about a weeknight, I'm running late, I need to get dinner on the table now type thing. Don't be afraid to use things like rice roni or the box mac and cheese. I mean, granted, it's not as good as doing it scratch, but it's still something like if I'm running late on something and I need something quick, I'll throw together a quick tuna casserole, which is basically mac and cheese, cream of mushroom soup, and tuna, and peas and carrots.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Um, I will throw together, maybe if I have some salmon, I'll throw together some salmon cakes. They're pretty quick. They have an out. Problem with salmon cakes is you make them and you have to put them in the refrigerator for an hour for them to set to kind of gel. I do beanie weenies on a quick one. I did that the other day. Hubs came home late, and it was like, what are we going to have for the first thing out of his mouth? What's for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. So I
Yep.
did beanie weenies. Those types of things are really, really quick. I also do it is the, believe I've got it up on the site. It's one of the early ones. It was almost a Salisbury steak. Ground beef with onion in it and some seasonings and a little bit of A1. Just throw it together, throw it in a pan, fry it up, add some beef stock, let it cover and let it sit, and then add the little.
Sounds
I don't
good.
know if you guys have made a flour slurry, flour and water
Yeah.
slurry.
Mhm.
And then pull the meat out, make that up, throw some mushrooms in it, and put the meat back in and let it cook another 10-15 minutes. And that's probably a half hour. Start to finish, and I throw it with mashed potatoes or rice.
Yeah,
So
I do a slurry when I need to, thicken something for a
quick,
gravy, but I
yeah.
I am partial to a roux though because you have the
Oh
butter
God,
and the
yeah,
flour and
yeah.
yeah, because it
Well,
just has that butter kinda, I don't know, like, nutty flavor to it when you
yes, it
can
does.
actually
It
make a
does.
roux. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So Joni, I'm hoping that helps.
Nice.
I will probably do some other quick stuff. Again, I'm doing those in the single parent. So the single parent guide is a good place to look for if you're looking for something quick and easy.
Mhm.
Because that's where I tend to toss those. So because the guys, need to have something that
Oh,
they can make quickly. You know, kids are hungry. We need to feed them now.
yep.
Do I like kimchi? No, it's not one of my things. I,
Korean
I
food. I
my
like Korean food.
Yeah, it's a Korean dish,
Mhm.
or a Korean. Actually, it's a staple. It's almost a side
Right.
dish.
Yeah.
Um, the problem with kimchi, and I probably would try it and eat it if it wasn't so spicy. And
Yeah.
as much as I love spice, I know what it's going to do to me, so I tend to avoid it. So that's why you'll see me when I'm making like the avocado salsa. I tell you you can put jalapenos in it, and most people will, but I do not because between my son and me, I can't handle the spice of the pepper. So you're joining
He
a cooking cult.
he's talking to
I love you, Shiva.
Bo of Cult Conversations, so he's having a cult conversation with Bo of Cult Conversation.
That's hilarious. Denver, I love you. You make me laugh.
I know, he's so funny.
Here's a thing that a friend of mine who's lactose intolerant discovered. Kefir doesn't contain lactose. The bacteria removed it. Really? I may need to look into that. Again, guys, remember, I take notes when I do this.
Nice. You are organized.
Yeah, well, what it is that somebody might ask me a question that I don't know immediately. And my return to that is, I don't know, but I will find out.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
that's kind of thing. So if you ask me a question, I say that that is what's happening. Is like, I don't know. Seriously, I don't know. I'm not going to give you false information just to say something. It's going to be, honest to God, I don't know, and I will find out. So the next time I'm
Mhm.
on, I may have done the study and looked at it and said, okay, I know I can have a general idea of what this is, and then we can discuss it. So
Right.
yeah, that's kind of the way I work. So Sophia found a lupine based milk and cream to be very good with a neutral taste. I'll have to look into that one too.
Lupins are like flowers, aren't they?
Lupins, yeah,
Oh, they're like
yeah.
flowers,
Well,
yeah.
I know that they make oat
Same.
milk, and interesting. You
Yep.
know,
Mhm.
I picture when you say a nut milk or an oat milk or
Almond
something like
milk, yeah.
almond, that type of. I sit here and in my mind, I picture, my God, the poor guy who had to milk the almond. But and knowing exactly what it is it's basically
Right.
a water where they've sat the almonds in there until the almonds have basically disintegrated, and they squeeze it, and that's almond milk, you know.
Right.
So yeah. But that's really funny. I mean, can you imagine some poor guy having to milk an almond?
So funny. Oh boy.
You know, your house must smell amazing in
I
it.
was thinking
It
the same thing.
does. It does.
Yes.
When I do that, the chocolate cobbler the other night when I did it, oh my god, the house
That
smelled
sounds
amazing.
good too.
You know, if I do a apple pie, which is what I'm looking at for Mark because he wants that caramel.
Nice.
So if I do an apple pie, it just smells amazing. Of course, Thanksgiving is unreal.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Ugh, thinking
the
about it.
smell of turkey and the
I'm gonna be
yams and
so hungry after this.
you
And
and
I
me.
feel
I
like, what do I
haven't
have?
not eaten breakfast yet. I'm one of
Open
those
the
people.
fridge and I'll be like, yogurt? Nah, that doesn't sound good to me.
Well, throw a little bit of strawberry jam in it and freeze it.
Oh, okay.
You
Can do
stir it
that.
up
I have
and freeze
strawberry
it.
jam. I might even have some actual
Um,
strawberries.
yeah, there you go. But anyway, no, I'm one of those people who can't eat in the morning. I
Yeah.
have, I just
This
can't.
is
It's
coffee number 3, 2.5.
iced tea. I couldn't find my tea bags this morning. I was so bummed.
Ah,
I have a cinnamon spice tea that I love in the morning, and I could not find my tea bags. I was like, "Well, who moved it?"
yeah.
Oh,
Often I'll set up my fancy little teapot. I'm so afraid of breaking it because it's like
oh,
a old Limoges. It's like, I don't know, 100 years old. But sometimes I'll have like some Twinings tea or something like that. So because on Sundays you get the early crowd, you get a lot of the UK people. So like Joe and different people, and
yeah.
then we have somebody from Budapest. Let me just pop this up real quick, and
Hello,
then you can
Mark.
Mark.
How are you? First time meeting you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I've
he's
seen you on a few times, but and Mark, I probably need to get with you on trying to do some of the kosher stuff because I am, I
yeah,
don't do a lot of kosher work. So, kosher recipes would be
yes.
really cool and helpful to some people who do, you know. So,
I just want to pop this up. Oh,
oh,
Sinful Good.
sorry,
Okay, that's all right. Just putting up your banner. And then your email is that Sinful Good right there with one
S-
L, right? At
simple
Gmail.
good.
At
Yes,
gmail.com.
yes,
That's your
at
email. Okay.
gmail.com.
Go ahead. Poor Sophia. I keep popping
Sorry,
over
Sophia.
her.
Um, I got a lot of loose recipes. I need to ask my mom about the measurements of some of the family recipes. Between grandma and me, there are no exact recipes, and a lot of feels good. Yeah. Um, I had to when I started having to write recipes and started having to do this on video. I had to force myself to actually use measurements. And what I did was I poured what looked good and I stuck it in a cup. And how much is this, or a tablespoon, or whatever? How much is this? Because I do a lot of by eye. I just, oh, this looks good, da, 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 and you'll see it occasionally. Sometimes I forget that I'm doing this on a video, and you'll see me. I'm shaking. It looks good, you know, but then I realize, oh, okay, I have to measure that. So I've got most of it kind of measured, but yeah, it's a lot. You'll also see me say to your taste. To your taste means whatever you like, because salt and pepper a lot of times is one of those subjects that's kind of some people like it really salty and some people don't. And the key to salt is to salt it just enough, because a salt is it's a flavor enhancer. It's not necessarily a flavor, but it's a flavor enhancer. It's sort of like when you put
Mhm.
vanilla with chocolate, it's a flavor enhancer.
Right.
So, or lemon with blueberries. I mean, that was the key to that blueberry cobbler, was that, all the ones that I kind of was doing research in trying to figure out what they did and how they worked, that rarely any of them put lemon juice. I'm like, why? Lemon juice
Mm.
brings out
The flavor.
blueberry
Right.
like
Yeah, it does. It's like that
nobody's
little
business. It
tang.
makes it boom, it
Mhm.
pops. And so why was there not any lemon juice in with
Mm.
now there was somebody who was putting almond slivers and stuff like that, and that's where the funny part of that particular recipe came in is that I didn't want to do almond slivers because there's a lot of people who are allergic to kind of tree nuts type of thing. And I personally, I have one of the things I hope to get fixed here before too much longer, but I have, you can tell I have a teeth issue. I was diagnosed type 2 diabetic while I lived in an 18-wheeler in a truck. And one of the problems with being in a truck is that you can't care for your teeth like you should. So, and when you get diagnosed diabetic, a lot of times it affects your teeth.
Right.
Diabetes does. So, I have my entire top of my mouth. I have the posts for implants, but that's it. Okay.
Oh, right.
So I have to nuts and stuff like that. I can't chew them. You know,
Mm.
I just can't. Now I can grind them up and throw them in
Yeah.
something, but
Yeah.
so what I did instead was I put amaretto in it, which is an almond
Oh,
liqueur.
I love that.
So that's
Oh,
kind of
look
how
who
we did.
came to support you, Sid.
Hello, Goldie, the
Goldie.
queen of
Love you.
the moderators.
All the best SP
Ah, love you,
recipes. I love that.
Goldie. That was awesome.
SP recipes.
Goldie has been a gem for me. I mean, just out of the blue, I never wanted to ask her because I mean she's so busy. I never wanted to ask her to do certain things for me, and out of the blue, she just did them. And
That's our
so
Goldie
she
for
was,
you.
yeah, I was just tossing up those ads, and she picked them up, and I was so appreciative of her doing that because people pay attention. I'm just a chatter in the group. I'm one of the hundreds of thousands that are in there. Goldie, on the other hand, she's the queen, and everybody sees her and everybody watches. And her job as a moderator, it, she moderates. How she multitasks like that, I have no clue, because I have seen her actually be in
Oh my
3
God.
different
Yeah.
chats at the same time.
There have been some rumors that she's not human, but I have
I
spoke with
mean,
her on the phone. She's
wow.
real. She's
Yeah,
just
love her.
amazing.
Absolutely love her. I mean, like I said, I'd love one of these days. I will see if I can, between her and Terry, I will see if I can get some mods going on my channel. But I just don't have enough activity on my chats yet. Now today's probably different, which is awesome. But and thank you
Yeah.
guys for going over and helping me with watch hours.
Yes,
I
please.
busted 100 for the last what's the first one? Last 28 days. I busted 100 watch hours this week.
Oh, sorry.
And I am over 200 watch
That's
hours.
your YouTube channel
Yeah,
at Cynful
thank
Good.
you.
You can
Yeah,
go over there and subscribe
and
and
please do.
give her watch hours. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
And you're doing really well because you just started and you've got over 200
A month and a half.
subscribers. And you,
Yeah, it's
I mean,
been.
I tell you, I love your personality. I love your cooking chops. You are a chef,
Thank
even
you,
though, you call yourself a
Grandma Cook.
grandma cook, but no, you know all the French terms
I
and
don't
all
know
the
them
flavor
all.
profiles. I mean,
Yeah,
it's more than me, but
yeah, I don't know them
I've
all.
tried a bunch of your recipes already and they're all amazing. And yeah, so
Yeah, when my
I'm
mentor
happy to
comes
have you
on,
here.
when Chef Solon comes on, and he's agreed, he is a musician, a songwriter, a singer, and a chef. And
Wow.
he worked in some of the big Palm Springs country clubs. He was the executive chef in those, and has cooked for many famous people. I believe he told me he actually cooked for Obama once.
Wow.
He'll have to elaborate when he comes on. And he has this beautiful studio in his home, and so we're gonna get our schedules together, and we will do that live, face to face, at his home studio. So beautiful.
About
Ah,
how many channel I can't
wow.
how many
It's so
channels she does
many.
at once.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Goldie,
Yeah.
you are
To do
so
them all at once. That is what is so impressive. Yeah. She's scary how good she is at it. She's just,
I love
and my God, don't come across, don't do something she don't like, man. Boy, she'll whoop you. Send you out to the shed and tell you go get a stick. Go get a switch. Love you, Goldie.
Goldie's a
Couldn't do
sweetheart.
this type of stuff without you, Goldie.
Yeah,
Trust me.
I tell you, I need the comic relief today. It's been such an emotional week. I mean,
Mm,
I'm so happy to be able to be here and listen to the stories and contribute whatever I can have, just hold space for people. But I like these Sunday fun days because I just need like just to
you
talk
need a
about creative
release.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
you need a release. I
this is
mean,
really fun.
stuff is heavy, and you know, you've been through it as being part of the cult you were in, the Pentecostal cult you were in. You've been through it. I never have. I had a very difficult childhood and a narcissistic mother, and so there was a lot of that kind of. It's emotional and verbal abuse when you have
Yeah,
something like that.
absolutely.
And I
Very
mean,
similar.
I tell the story about how close I came to calling up and trying to join Scientology when I was, I want to say, a sophomore or junior in high school. Is that things were really bad. My high school years are horrid. In what went on in the family, I had a lot of stuff going on at school. Was bullied a bit, and
Mhm.
you'd think, okay, so if you're bullied at school, you come home for the relief. Well, no, it was 10 times worse at home. So I had no place, you know, for relief. And I was sitting one night watching a TV show back in the day. Wolfman Jack used to host it called The Midnight Special.
I remember
Um,
Wolfman Jack. I'm that
yeah,
old. I
I am
do
too.
remember him.
So Wolfman Jack used to host a
Who talks like
TV,
that? Yeah, he talks like
yeah,
that.
a TV show called The Midnight Special. And it was sort of like Solid Gold. It was that kind of
Yeah.
thing where they brought in artists and they sang and that type of stuff. But one of the things that tended to happen during that, and Mitch will find this interesting, one of the things that tended to happen during that particular show was they would do a bit. It was very short. It wasn't, it was longer than a regular commercial, but short,
Mhm.
shorter than the infomercial on Dianetics. The volcano. It was the volcano
Oh, yeah.
uh, ad.
Yeah, in the '80s,
It was
yep,
literally the
yep.
volcano ad,
Mhm.
and um, in the place I was in my mind, in my head, I was looking for an escape. I had begged them to send me to a boarding school. I wanted out, and came very very close to contacting Scientology and that, and because they made it sound so good.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
fix these problems, you can do these things and that type of stuff. And I'm thinking, that's what I need, but I also need to get out. And so I mean, we're
Mhm.
talking, the problem was is at those times there was no cell phones. And yeah, I could have called on my phone, but I figured they'd want some sort of money for something. I didn't have any, and that's what
Right.
stopped. I mean, I didn't get a whole lot of an allowance, so even though I was expected to do a lot of things, so that's how close, and that's just kind of where my interest in Scientology came in, as I was starting to see Leah in the Aftermath series, and
Right, yeah.
then start when I went into looking into things. And one of the things that hurt me really bad was how people, to a person almost, that had been in there, always said they were stupid for doing it. How was I so stupid for staying in that? You weren't stupid. What it was is you had a system of belief. It's
Right.
just like, how is it that Christians stay in Christianity, or Baptists or Pentecostal? How do they stay? It's not a stupidity, it's a faith. It's called faith,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
it's a suspension of belief, suspension of the natural, you know, this is what I see. You suspend that, and then you believe what your religion tells you. So it's not stupidity, guys. So don't ever call yourself stupid for getting involved. Don't ever call yourself stupid for staying.
Right.
um, you weren't. You believed in something, and therefore you suspended what you saw happening in reality.
That's
Okay.
so true. I mean, usually you go in because 'cause you're idealistic, you wanna
Hmm.
help people, you wanna help yourself, like, fix yourself or whatever, and
Right.
you just have this desire to you're searching. I mean, that's
Hmm.
why a lot of people in their 20s, tend
Hmm.
to
Tend to
be less
gravitate to that.
open. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's what, I was 20, but
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, shouldn't be a shame and a stigma, but it
No.
is. It is, but I think it's changing, and I think
Yeah.
that this
Well,
this space is helping with that.
yes.
So.
And
Mhm.
and those of us who have never been in things like the phone calls that Reese were doing, the recorded phone calls,
Yeah.
some of the videos that are coming out that we're seeing of things that happen within the cult. Um, we can hear your stories and sympathize and empathize and think, oh, that's horrid or whatever, but it doesn't impact as much as actually hearing it happen.
Mhm.
Like you're on the other end of that phone line when Reese is talking to that person. You're Reese in that situation. You're hearing this person literally say the things that they've been telling us they've been saying all along.
Mm.
You know, and so
You
that's
could
deep.
definitely hear, yeah, you could hear the cult speak, and
Hmm.
you know what I mean? You could
Yeah,
hear them filtering, like, what was, the cult would want them to say. It's just crazy.
yeah.
Just
I
crazy.
mean,
So,
it's like you think about it. The Xenu story. Let's look at the Xenu story. Okay, a lot of people look at that and go, "That's freaking crazy." How could you believe that? Well, okay. Do you believe in Jesus Christ? You know, how can you suspend belief enough to figure out this guy was born of a virgin?
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
First off, had all kinds of people show up at his birth that, really, walked
Yeah,
on
even Reese's
water.
dog, little
Yeah.
Gertie was there.
Yeah.
Little Gertie was born in the manger
Yeah.
next to the Lord.
Exactly. Exactly. I
Yep.
mean, but here's what I'm saying is that you're sitting here saying, how could you believe in the Xenu guy doing what he did, yet you're going to
Yep.
believe in a guy who walked on water, was born of a virgin, died, and rose 3 days later? Okay, we're talking about the same thing here.
Xenu is truth. Okay,
You know,
Denver.
we're literally talking about the same thing. This is the faith. This is the suspension of what's around you and
Right.
moving into the idea of faith.
Mhm.
Simple. And if you look at Muhammad, it's the same thing. If you look at Buddha, it's the same thing. Any religion that has a central religious feature, okay, a person or a person that was involved in how this started or did these things, as in Xenu, um,
Mhm.
it's all about suspension of belief. Oh my gosh, my husband's over here talking,
That's okay.
telling
I'm
us
just
when
gonna pop
about.
a couple things up because the
Yeah,
chat's
we're
been
getting
going
there.
crazy.
I'm so
Um,
sorry.
Joel McCoy's soapbox. Okay, we gotta always have to listen to his
Yes,
soapboxes because they're fantastic. Okay,
I'm gonna mute
part
for a second.
one. Okay, that's okay, honey. Part one, we are fostering a 1-year-old female cat. She was rescued after a fire in a vacant building. She had some burns and cuts. She is a beautiful yellow tabby. She was wild and scared. I think there was a second part to it. Part two, we named her Marilyn after you. Oh my God. I wasn't going to cry today, Joel. I wasn't going to cry today. Oh my God, you guys are killing me. She's a real survivor. My wife has her doing great. She's becoming social and her wounds are healing well. When you help save an animal, you will save yourself. I totally believe that, Joel. And thank you.
Yes.
That's very touching. And me and Marilyn, we have a lot in common, don't we? I was very feral too. And I
Hmm.
still am a little bit.
Well, you
Oh
can't put a you
God.
can't put a collar on me, boy. We'll have a
Oh,
fucking bronco fight.
okay. Can we
Stop
do something?
crying.
Honey, I know, God damn it. All right. I have to ask something. What is going on in the chat with Denver and all of the We've got Denver, are you cheating on me? We got, hey there,
Oh
sexy
wow.
Denver. What is he doing?
And Reese
He's
is
toning
telling
it
it.
down.
Yeah, Reese is concerned about his fact that he's not really first on the birds and the bees. You know,
Well, I don't know
Reese is
about that.
really
I mean,
concerned about that.
she is. She wants to do a deep dive.
It's a deep dive. I mean,
Yep.
come on, Steve-O, deep dive. We're gonna find out.
Oh man,
That's
I tell you,
hilarious.
these streams are so funny because we start out light, and we start talking about deep stuff, and then we,
Mhm.
then I start crying about cats, and then we're laughing again about Denver and his lady problems. I mean, that sounded wrong.
That's hilarious.
Problems with Denver's issues.
Denver's issues. Well, we'll
My
get there.
issues, my
I think
issues
there's
need
probably
tissues.
I think there's probably a lot of women that are willing to volunteer to help Denver with his issues.
Okay, it
So
looks like it. Yeah.
yeah. Pup groomer. I don't have a full size oven, just a small countertop oven. I'm too cheap to buy a new stove since the top still works. It was in an apartment one time that you couldn't even fit a turkey into the oven. That was really difficult. I can't imagine a countertop like a toaster oven, or is it one of those convection ones? Because the convection ones are nice. You can do a lot of stuff in those countertop convection ovens. But if it's like a toaster oven, we reheat bagel pizzas or something. Uh, I, I that you have my sympathies on just having that, because that does limit you on some things you can do. I do a lot of stuff stovetop. And you'll notice that I use what I use is a new wave. It's a induction burner, by itself, because trying to stick camera, lights, all of the stuff that I have, and I sent Mitch the picture of my rig. I've got like 3 tripods. I've got a small one, I've got a tall one, I've got one that's in the middle, and then I have my ring light, and they're all on tripods. So I have like 4 tripods around
Right.
as I'm working. So it's hard enough because I have to fit all my mise en place in
Mm-hmm.
between all this stuff and put it in an order so it's what I'm grabbing next before I start. And so trying to get that next to that thin countertop that's next to the stove is, I've done it a couple of times, but it's really difficult. So what I do is I put that induction burner on my island, which is big, and so I have that room. So that's what you see. But I
That's
can't
nice.
imagine.
I love the whole finished product. It looks,
Yeah, and then a lot of
awesome.
it's done editing. I have learned a lot of stuff in the editing process. Where you're not seeing my belly over the side, and the flower that went flying over there, and the dogs coming by behind me. You don't see that anymore because I've learned in my editing program I can pull it in. So what you're seeing is what I'm doing, not. And if I
Mhm.
happen to have my whatever I'm doing, I don't have it camera center. It's off to the side or something like that. There go the dogs again. I can actually edit down, bring it down,
Yep.
and pull it over. And so what you're seeing is what's there instead of all of the sundry stuff. So yeah, that is.
Hi, Steven.
Hey, Steven.
He's like, still going? Oh, yeah. We
Still
could talk
going?
about
Yeah.
food all day.
Food is one of
Yeah.
those subjects that are easy to talk about, and so
Everybody's
just
got
where
to
you get to
eat,
go.
right?
Yeah. Well, that's again one of the things that you look at is that when businesses are closing and that type of stuff, and things get tough, you always got to eat. So there's always going to be a grocery store. Grocery stores will always be open or some form of, because you got to eat. Hey, Kim.
Well, I made it. I love she's just so enthusiastic.
I
Yay.
love it. Yay.
Welcome.
Ugh.
Oh,
It's a
that's the
high
cult.
control. Oh, that's hilarious. It's high
That's the
control.
food
You
cult.
can't leave until you eat. Yeah. Well, you're gonna eat, Steve-O, right? Might as well take a hamburger or a hot dog with you while you go. A biscuit. Yeah.
I can't wait to subscribe to your channel. You can do it right now, Amy.
Yeah.
Let me put it up again. It's on YouTube at
Simple good.
Cynful Good at CYNFULGOOD. Good. Yeah.
I can't wait to have you over
Yeah.
there, Amy.
Yeah. And anyone that's watching on my channel, you can head over there. You can open 2 tabs, or I'm happy to share the stream with.
Awesome.
I
Yeah.
can't do this like
Yeah.
opposite
The
day.
The watch
Quick.
hours. I'm probably gonna take all of these because I've done a few lives now. I'm probably gonna throw them all in a playlist so that you guys
Yes.
um, can keep them
Good
open
idea.
and in the background or whatever you're doing or sleeping or whatever, and
Yay.
just pop the hours. It's funny when I was helping Marilyn and Steve-O and Chad get the watch hours that they needed.
Thank you.
I would literally, what I would do is I would open the windows for each individual. I actually pulled them off so they were individual browser windows, because a lot of times what happens is if you had one behind the other, the one that's behind stops, you know, and it pauses. But if you have them separately in different
Right.
windows, it continues. And then I would just turn on their playlists and go do, cook, or I'd go clean house or do whatever.
We appreciate that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Well,
So
we'll return the favor, definitely.
yeah, it was a daily
Liz,
thing.
Liz Ferris is very close to being monetized, so I
Yes.
had her open last night. But yeah, I can open several tabs,
Yeah.
and I have a bunch of different things.
Mhm.
Is Denver? Are you becoming a Pentecostal? Are you speaking in tongues? Because this seems like
What
gibberish. Is this
is
real?
that? Either that or his dog
Linda,
decided to walk across his
Lamina.
keyboard.
I think he's speaking in tongues.
He has to be.
All right, this
Wow.
must be real. This looks like real, something real.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we need a translator here.
Yeah.
Here's
I don't
Juliana
speak
when we
that.
need her.
I barely speak English, guys. I speak Texan. I speak enough Spanish to ask for a beer, a bathroom, and a horse to get away. You know.
I love that. Oh,
Um.
Monkey Shark, thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And I can cuss you out in Spanish probably, and I can say it's too much work and where the hell are my keys? You know. I mean, that's kind of
I
the
don't
end of my
remember.
Spanish.
I don't remember any Spanish. I took, I think, 2 years of it in high school, but my
I
daughter took
did.
it, and all she remembers is, I like Chinese food or something in Spanish. I'm like, in Spanish? But yeah.
Yeah. I
If you
mean,
don't use it,
and
you
I live
lose
in
it,
Texas. I should know Spanish. Like I said,
right?
it's. I mean, we had. In fact, it was really kind of funny. Our next door neighbor for a while. She's moved now, but she was from Guatemala, I want to say, and really, really, really nice. We didn't speak a lick of English, so literally, we're out there to talk to each other. We had Google Translate, you
Oh,
back in the time.
yeah.
And so I would type mine and hand it to her, my phone to her, and she would type hers and hand her phone. I mean, we were back and forth. But anyway, she made some tamales.
Ooh.
It was close to Christmas time. I mean, she would invite us over for different things. It was a drink that she made that was just amazing. It was like a fruit punch that had all these different, you know, exotic fruits in it, and they had a special name for it, and I don't remember what it was, but it was something that you had to have every holiday, and it was really good. The tamales were amazing. She made a chicken dish that was really good. So I mean, but trying to get those recipes, which I did. I mean, in exchange, I smoked a brisket and gave her part of it, and I did,
Ooh, ha, ha.
cook. Yeah, I cooked a turkey. I made a lasagna for her. I mean, so we were exchanging. So it was kind of interesting. It was a lot of fun,
Nice.
but
I
I'm
went to
sorry
a
she moved.
I went to a tapas bar the other night, and,
Hmm.
my son was playing there, and
Hmm.
the restaurant owner came out and sang with him. I don't know if you saw that on my Facebook.
Yeah,
My son was playing guitar in the
yeah,
restaurant. Yeah, funny, like, you're talking about,
yeah,
like, how your chef mentor is also a musician and all that. I think
yes,
that kinda goes hand in hand, but we had these little plates that we had, ordered just to try one.
appetizer. Hmm.
Oh my god, they had this thing called man candy, and it was like a brisket with, like, some kind of bourbon sauce, and oh my god,
Mm.
man candy
I
was
do pig candy.
yummy. What was
I do
it?
pig candy. I call
Yeah,
it pig candy. Basically, what it is, you
yummy.
take strips of bacon. I take a whole thing of bacon and I lay it out on a pan, and then I sprinkle it with for low carb. It's actually low carb. Is why I made it, but you can do it
Mhm.
with regular. But I use the swerve brown sugar and a little
Oh,
bit of,
yeah, I've done that.
and then I bake it and until
Mhm.
it's crisp, and then you come out and you cut it, and you can have as much of that as you want if you're trying to watch your carbs, because
Right.
it's basically no carb. So you I call it pig candy. It's really simple, but that one's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna put this up. Let's see. Pup unwrapped egg roll, pre-shredded coleslaw bag mix, ground pork, garlic, onion, crunchy Chinese noodles, pork brown the pork, add the onion, garlic, and cabbage mix until that's called egg roll in a bowl.
Ooh, I want
um,
that now.
I, yeah, actually, I have that recipe, or my version of it, is posted. So there's a video called egg roll in a bowl. So yeah, that it's really simple. That is a quick. I need something really quick because I need to go to bed, or I've got
Mhm.
something I got to do. So that is a very quick. I mean, I use Asian salad. Is what I do. I get was chopped Asian salads.
Yeah.
And I take all the stuff out, the sauce and you can use the sauce and the
Mhm.
dressing. It'll work, but I use a sweet soy glaze instead, and I add ginger and garlic and the
I
sundry
wanna
stuff.
make that today. That looks so good.
It's very simple, and it literally tastes like an egg roll, without the wrap. And so, because that little packet tends to have the little wonton strips and some almonds and stuff like that, I add that at the very end. That's sort of the garnish. So you still get that egg roll feel because of the wonton strips. So yeah, but yeah, I call that egg roll in a bowl, pup.
Sounds good.
I'm terrible at cooking. Try you. Well, Corrine, or is it Corrine or is it Corinne?
Okay, she said I pronounced it right. I don't know if I could do it again, but it's, something like carini?
Carini.
Carini, yeah. See, you said
Oh,
it better
okay.
than me. Carini.
Well, I live
Portuguese.
in Texas. Spanish is sort of second
Yeah,
language here.
she's a Portuguese 'cause speaks
Awesome,
Portuguese.
Carini.
She's from
Carini.
Brazil, but it's very
Yeah.
similar, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, in Brazil, they speak Portuguese, so
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm terrible at cooking, trying to learn. I am cutting for people like you, I am working on a series called Cooking 101. Um, and that's just basics. How to store
I did it. Thank you.
how to store things, what goes in the fridge, what doesn't, what are the temperatures, cooking temperatures, what those types of things. I will tell you, one of the first things I will tell, there's tips. Okay, if somebody would ask me what are the tips you have. The most dangerous tool in your kitchen is a dull knife. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah.
so every time, you don't see me do it because I do it as a prep into doing these videos. Every time I start the video, every time I start to cook, the first thing I do is sharpen my knives. Whatever knife I'm going to use, I make sure it's good and sharp. Because here's the thing: if you're over here sawing on something, you are
Yeah.
more likely to get your hand in
Slip your
there.
nut. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Then if you now, my mother might disagree. My dad says my mother would disagree with that because he sharpened a knife one time and didn't tell her, and then she cut her finger. But I said, well, that's hand placement, Dad. That's just. But anyway, so the most dangerous tool in your kitchen is a dull knife. That's number one. Number two, don't cook to time. Okay, if somebody says cook blah for 30 minutes, okay, well, my 30 minutes might make that perfect, but in your oven that 30 minutes might
Yeah.
overcook
I
it.
know. My oven's like
Okay,
that. Yeah.
so the next thing you need to do is make sure you have an instant read digital thermometer. Okay, and when you put it in the thickest part of whatever you're cooking, and measure it from there to the center. So you want to put it into the center. So make sure. I mean, different things have different cook times. Like pork, you can go to 145. Okay, a steak is anywhere from 125 to 175, depending on how
How you like it
how you
cooked.
like your steak done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
130 is medium rare. 130 to 145. That's medium rare. Okay. Um, if you're doing a casserole or poultry of any kind, that's
Mhm.
165. Okay. Now in
Right.
my head, I can't make those adjustments for Celsius or other measurement
Right. Me
types of
either.
thing. But I mean that's just in general. So, you know, if you'll notice a lot of my recipes, instead of telling you put this in your oven for 30 minutes, what I say to you is put this in your oven until the internal temperature reaches whatever temperature. Okay.
Mm.
Because that's what's important. A lot of people, you know, their steaks get overdone or their meat gets overdone, their pork or their pot roast or whatever they're going, it's overdone. Well, that's because you went to a time and your oven was hotter than whoever it was that gave you the time. So that's where the temperature is important. And you also need to make, and the other side of that is that maybe they got to 165 in their oven in 30 minutes, but you're still at 125. Okay.
Right. Yep.
And so
Mhm.
what you're dealing with now is a food safety issue because you have to get certain things up to certain temperatures to
Mhm.
keep them safe and to kill the bacteria. Casseroles and poultry are the big one is 165 always. That's the temperature that is safe to eat those. Anything less than that, it's not food safe. So,
Right.
you know, so
Absolutely.
that's number two. I have to think for a minute for number three because I used to have these written down somewhere. I actually did them, but you know, I have one of those. I'm old now, and I had a head injury back in 2011, so memory's a
How
little
old?
iffy. I just turned 60.
Really?
Yeah, I turned 60 in April. The end of April. In fact, it's really funny. My birth date is sort of a thing of contention. I woke up, we were in the truck one day and sound asleep, and I woke up to the radio announcer, and I was like, I guess it was the 27th. I woke up to the radio announcer who said, it was a Saturday. He said, if your birthday is today, April 28th, you share your birthday with Saddam Hussein. And I'm like, oh, great.
Jeez.
You know, like happy birthday to me and him, right? Um, so and he was doing Sundays. If your birthday is the 29th, you share your birthday with Dale Earnhardt. I said, from now on, my birthday's the 29th. I'd rather share with Dale Earnhardt than Saddam
There's got to
Hussein.
be somebody the 28th that's good too. We got to find.
I think
Get
Anne
him.
Margaret is
Oh,
also. I
there you
think
go. Yeah, I
she's.
don't know
And
what mine is. But
my and what there is somebody else who is the 28th is what's really kind of a funny thing. My husband's brother um, was born. We're actually born the same day, the same year, and about 15 minutes apart.
what? Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow. When does
so
that happen?
neither one of us have an excuse to forget the other's birthday. So, and we discovered that not too long ago. It was really kind of funny.
Oh, geez. Who's Denver's flirting with now? I tell ya.
Oh, oh, good old
Denver.
Denver. He
Who was that
usually
kiss for?
we gotta love Denver. Denver's such a teddy bear.
Oh, I
Oh,
have a
this was for
question.
you.
Oh, okay. Marilyn Honig, Coffee, Cults, and Crafts. Are you going to do SPTV hat and scarf sets for Christmas? Well, I'm more into the amigurumi. I mean, I used to do hats and scarves, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see.
Goodbye.
SPTV, it would have to be kind of embroidered. Yeah,
Yeah, embroidered. They
probably
would be
not.
hard to work in. Yeah.
There's a lot, yeah, there's a lot of people, I won't even say just ladies, men too, that crochet and some on Coffee Cults and Crafts on Facebook. So
Did
you
you
could
see
put it
that
out
guy
there.
that made the? Well, I saw it on your page. So that guy
Oh
that made
yeah.
the whole. Oh
For
my
Fashion
god.
Week. This
Yeah.
yes.
I'm like
I
going,
want it
holy
all.
cow.
And he's so fast and he's just like and he kept putting the mannequin dressed mannequin in the middle of the road. I
Road.
was like, I was getting nervous because he kept and then I love how I don't have a hook on me, but every time he finished a piece, he went like this and like dropped the hook.
Yeah, the hook drop. The
So
hook drop.
cute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that now. I'm gonna be like
That
every time I finish something, be that.
hook drop. Well,
Yeah,
if I do that, yeah, I would have a
he does
mess on the floor
crochet.
all the time. Although
Karimi
the
does
dogs
crochet.
would enjoy that. If I did a spoon drop, the dogs would really love
Yeah.
it.
Look at those splash. Unless you don't end up with caramel stalactites for them to lick off.
No, no,
I like how we led with that today. That was so
that's
funny.
hilarious. comment. I had someone make me a cinnamon scallop potatoes, but they use highly concentrated cinnamon powder, and
Ooh,
in the quantity that was made for freshly ground and ruined. Oh, I bet. You do
mhm.
too much cinnamon, and it's like cinnamon's one of my favorite flavors. I love cinnamon. I mean,
And
I
scalloped
go for
potatoes,
the
I've never
little
had it.
I go for little cinnamon candies. You give me, atomic fireballs. I love cinnamon, but yeah, you can go too far with it. You can go too far with any spice.
Nutmeg too. I
Mm,
like to, take, the whole nutmeg and just use, like, a
mhm.
microplane,
Yeah.
and, uh, I like in scalloped potatoes or something anything with, like, a cream sauce,
Mhm.
but yesterday, Duncan had made this big pot because we had so many carrots. He tends to overbuy, and especially
Mm.
it's just the 2 of us now, well, the doggies, but he just steamed all these carrots, so yesterday, I took some carrots, threw them in the NutriBullet, and put a little bit of chicken broth and,
Mhm.
like, cream in with them
Yeah.
and mixed them up, and it was like a puree, and then I just added a little bit of nutmeg and a little bit of salt, and oh my god, it was so good. So good. It's
Sounds
just like
good.
a
Sounds
soup.
really good.
I just
Speaking
warmed it
of
up like a soup.
Awesome. Speaking of Denver, Stevo, he hit me with the other day with making a dog food. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't make it. It's not my recipe, but I did send him a link to I think it was a page or a video for crock pot dog food.
Mhm.
So there you go, Steve. So
I just
anyway.
put this up real quick. Amy Delt, Marilyn, I want to crochet you a small gift, but I'm embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. I would
Goldie.
love that. I appreciate anything. Seriously.
Yes.
I
We all
I
do.
really appreciate. Yeah, I mean, you just because like or she cooks it, I'm sure she likes people to cook for her, right?
Oh god, yeah.
And
Last
I'm the
night my
same with
husband cooked.
crochet. I never save. I don't have anything I crochet. The only thing I have that I crochet is this. This is the only
Zena.
thing I
Yeah,
kept, and
Zena.
everything else, just one Zeno so I can, kinda
Yeah.
use it as a pattern. But, yeah, I'd love to have something crochet because I give it all I
Yeah,
either sell it or give it
I
all
do the
away.
same thing. I draw. I do pencil
Oh,
drawings,
nice. Nice.
and I don't hardly do it anymore because I don't have time. But for the longest time, I didn't have a piece of my work, and not anywhere, you know. And so when my grandmother passed, I ended up with yeah, new nickname soon.
Cinnamon,
Um,
aw.
yeah, I thought about that,
Like your
but
hair, like
like
your
my hair,
hair.
yeah, cinnamon. Um, when my grandmother passed, she basically gave me two of the pieces that I had done. So now I do have a couple of pieces that are mine that are
Mhm.
in the house, but I don't have very many. So because I give them away, I mean, gave them to family and that type of stuff. So yeah, mumble something about stupid French dip. What's up with that, Goldie?
I don't know. I just had to start it.
That's
She's
hilarious.
pointing at herself.
Not much of a French dip. How about a Philly cheesesteak? I have that.
Mhm. I don't know.
Oh,
Good
that's funny.
question.
Ah, Purple Groovy. Yep. Goldie, you truly make everybody feel welcomed and valued. You are super, super awesome.
That's right.
Super duper fragilistic expialidocious. No, it's just awesome. We all love you, Goldie.
Yeah. If anyone has any last minute questions, get them in now because we're gonna wind down. So,
Goldie
okay.
said, Purple, that's probably my main goal. Y'all,
Make everyone
I
feel
think,
welcome.
yes, I think Goldie has a buy me a coffee sticker somewhere.
She does, and I
Um,
have it in my email. Oh, I don't know.
s- so, you know, Goldie basically gives her valuable time to all of us, and she is amazing. Um, and I mean, the thing is that she doesn't ask for anything, and really and truly, she's probably embarrassed that we are asking or putting out there that we had to buy Goldie a coffee and that type. It probably embarrasses her because she doesn't. It's not something she doesn't do this for her own profit or her own good. She does it out of the
Absolutely.
goodness of her heart,
Mhm.
and so but at the same time, if there's a way to show appreciation and help her out just a little bit, then what's the harm? You know, a couple of bucks and buy her a coffee and you know, we all make the world a better place. But anyway, so Goldie, we all so appreciate you. I'm not sure where the buy the coffee
I
is,
got
but
it. It's in the chat. I figured out
awesome.
how to do it.
Awesome. So Marilyn's got that put up in the
Yeah.
chat or put it up as me, I guess. I don't know.
Both of you. Yeah. Both of
Yeah,
us. Both of you. Both of
both of
us.
us.
Yeah.
So, you know, take a little bit of time and go over and buy Goldie a coffee.
Yeah.
We all appreciate you. And of course, who is it? Apostate Alex has Goldie merch. So yeah.
Goldie's buy me a coffee link. Yeah.
Yep. So make sure you take a little bit of time and go over there and let Goldie know how much we appreciate her. So, oh, I put the wrong thing up. Sorry,
It's
I
all
hit the
right.
wrong button. Denver's been around the block, it seems. What was he standing on street corners? You know, hey babe, hey,
Showing a little
hey,
leg. Showing a
for a
little leg
little
action.
leg. Well, he says he doesn't wear pants, so he can show his leg all he wants. You
Yeah,
know.
when I sent the doll to him, the mini Steve-O, I tell you, these guys are having way too much fun with these dolls. But there's just one thing wrong with him. He's wearing pants.
Oh my gosh. He said, Steve will go out to the corner, stand in the street light. Hey, baby, you got anything going today? What you doing? Need a date? I'm just picturing that in the middle of the winter in Denver. I'm like, oh my God. You know?
Oh, Lord. I think I have one more starred
Yep.
question, I think, or
I
comment.
love peanut sauce. I'm going to work on doing, I have not done one.
I love me some peanut sauce. I
Peanut sauce
bought
is
some
good.
organic peanut sauce and it was horrible. It was I would like to just make it myself, but I was being
Mhm.
lazy. It
It's
was
easy.
organic. I don't know if you have it what is it called? Something circle. Full circle or something. It was organic, but it had so much vinegar in it that it just ugh. So I
Ugh.
like to make it fresh with the coconut
Yeah.
milk and peanuts,
Yeah.
butter
Yep.
and little soy
Hmm.
sauce, a little
Hmm.
bit of, I like red Thai curry paste. Love
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah. Dip
Yeah,
chicken
again,
in
I
it.
have to be careful with it because of the spice. You
Oh,
know,
yeah. Yeah, that's not too spicy,
it's
but
I'd love to do curries. I love curries, but since I had my gallbladder out,
oh,
yeah,
yeah. I
it doesn't
gotcha.
agree with me.
Right.
I had to
Yeah, you
have it.
can leave that out.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
made it with a
and
little bit of I don't really like fish.
mm,
I'll only eat something it's like if it tastes like chicken, that kind of fish,
right,
but I do put a little bit of fish sauce in some of my Thai food because it's kind of authentic,
yeah.
but
I you know,
mhm.
I don't think I can really truly. I've come close. Make some of the fish taste like chicken. I love salmon. Salmon's one of my things. My husband.
Alright.
My
Duncan
husband does.
loves it.
Well, here's
Duncan
the
loves
thing. I mean, tell me why you don't like salmon. What is about salmon is that you don't like?
It's fishy. I don't know. It's just yucky. It's just fishy and, I don't know.
It's dry and fishy, right?
Yeah,
Those
and
two
just
things, dry and
yucky.
fishy. Two things are
Yeah.
happening there. Okay, one is that the salmon is not as fresh as it should be. Okay,
Um,
that's number one. Number two, it's been overcooked. Okay, salmon actually is a 145 fish. Okay, not 165. A lot of people go
really?
to 165 on salmon, and it's
Mhm.
dry and it's fishy and it's nasty. You have to remember they eat salmon raw in sushi. Think about that.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can eat salmon raw.
What's
Why do
that
you have
called
to
when they
cook the hell out of it?
thin slice it and put, like,
Sashimi,
citric yeah,
sashimi.
sashimi, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I
you
like sushi that doesn't have fish in it, like the what is that called? Like,
uh
California rolls? I'll eat
yeah,
it with crab as long as that's not I love
most
lobster and shrimp, I
yeah,
just don't like fishy fish.
most of the stuff that you see is an imitation crab. They're
Yeah.
not using real crab in
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
some people like the trick that I do with imitation crab. I do a crab rangoon dip that will come out probably here shortly because of Thanksgiving, and you have to have finger foods.
Mhm.
Um, but it's basically the stuffing of a crab rangoon that you get at the Chinese restaurant. Um, Yeah, it has to be very fresh.
Mhm.
The key here's the key when you walk into your store and you're going to the seafood market, the fishmonger. Um, if it smells fishy and nasty like that, don't buy the fish there because the fish should smell like the ocean.
I
It
think
should be
that
fresh.
sushi that doesn't have fish in it is called seaweed. Yeah, you're pretty much
Seaweed.
right.
Well, there is that. Yeah, nori.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not a huge fan of rice. I do use it a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It to get me to I will not eat white rice just on its own, steamed white rice. I won't. I don't like it. But so you'll see me. I put things in it to flavor it. Like I will cook it in chicken broth, or I will cook it in beef broth, or I will add ginger and coconut milk and pineapple juice. I cook it in things to give it a flavor, and then I'll eat it. So that's kind of how.
I had to pick that up.
Awesome. I'm glad Joni got you a whole
Thank you,
bunch of
Joan.
coffees. Thank you, Joni.
Thank you, Joni.
Um, but
Sorry.
so I season it. That's the way I eat rice. You'll never see me eat a white rice. Um, I just don't like it. It's honest to God, it has no flavor to me. That's the issue. It has no flavor and it has a
Right.
funky texture. And I'm very
Yeah.
texture oriented. Not Sean, but a previous boss that I worked for. Chef Sean is the mentor. There was a guy before him. Made octopus in the instant pot, and I was
Really?
questionable about it initially. It's again weird foods to me. You have to talk me into it to try it. Well, of
Yeah, I'm not
course,
an
the way
octopus person.
yeah, the way he talked me into it is like if you don't try it, you're fired. I knew he was teasing. Okay, but I looked at him and said, "Are you serious?" And I have to tell a story about Thomas because it's really kind of funny. Um, so I did try the octopus, and he's like, "Isn't it buttery? Isn't it great?" And I'm like, kind of chewing on it. And I'm like, can I spit this out now? And he's like, no, eat it. I say, no. The tentacles still had the little sucker things on it. The whole thing was a texture thing. And I was like, no. But the story about Thomas he's about 4'11. He's a little short guy.
Really?
And have you ever seen the chicken hawk and foghorn leghorn? You know,
Oh, yeah, I think so.
him.
Yeah, 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 chicken hawk. Yeah.
Okay,
The
he
cartoon.
he walked around the store like the chicken hawk. He on his toes and chest puffed out and the whole nine yards. And the shoot I did for the Denver, I sent to Denver. He's got it. The shoot I did was the Ron White tater salad tater tot thing. And I was in there. We were making potato salad, and I was talking to the crowd, and behind me, Thomas is making this potato salad, and I hear they call me tater salad because I was like, come try my tater salad. Is how what I was saying. They call me tater salad, and I spun around and looked at him. And this right before Thanksgiving. I spun around, and looked at him, and said, "No, they call you tater tot." Yeah, you know. And he looked back at me, and he said, "They call you working on Thursday," which was Thanksgiving.
There you go.
And I looked at him and said, "They call that time and a half." So we had this whole conversation. Everybody
That's
was listening.
great.
You
Oh
so,
my god, that's awesome. I love
so
it.
it was really kind of a funny thing. But yeah, we had a good time in the kitchen, and I've really enjoyed visiting with you, Marilyn. It
Yeah,
is
this has been so much
It is a
fun.
blast.
Let's do it again.
We will
Definitely.
have to. We will have to. One of these days, I'll figure out how to get my microphone to work in the kitchen. Right now, that's the hold up to actually do a stand up and live kitchen thing.
Yeah.
We have figured out how to get my phone to talk to my computer so the camera works, but
Right.
the mic
And
is still not there.
maybe next time I can put up slides, at least we can do some kind of visuals, but you do such a good job just doing off the cuff lives. I love it. You're just very entertaining. We engage the chat. I
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just like I said, it was just so nice to just have like a fun, stream about
yeah.
food because
One
everybody's
of,
got to eat.
one of the things I'm going to try to ask those of you who have been in the Sea Org, who've actually been in the bubble, Um, I send me some. Tell me what you ate. What was it they fed you? I mean, we know beans of rice. We know chicken. We know scrambled egg. What kind of chicken? Did they grill
Scrambled
it? Did
egg,
they,
yeah,
we
yeah.
know these things, but give me a little bit more. Just, well, we had chicken, uh, fried chicken with the crust, and then we'd have one thrown on a grill, and kind of give me a start, and give me something to start on, because I would like to do a whole series
Yeah,
of
nice.
this, is so that those of us out here get an idea of what you guys had to deal with, because obviously they didn't feed you very well. I mean, and they worked your ass off. They went with as cheap as they could. So my guess is they didn't have chicken breast. They had chicken thighs. Thighs are cheap. You know that type of stuff.
Which Sheldon talks a bit about what he ate on his channel.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'll have to get with him.
Yeah,
But
ask him.
those of you who have been there, pop me an email. Give me sort of what was the menu, and let me see what I can do with it. So that was one of the things that I wanted to do. Um, one of those series, and I am doing. I've already
Oh, it's a
started.
good point. Best person to
Catherine
ask would be
Olsen, yeah,
Catherine Olsen. She worked in the galley for years. That is
yeah,
a
that would be
great
good. Great idea. I'll
idea.
have to get
That's
with her then.
mhm.
Yeah. The other one I'm doing, and I've already started the process. I'm working the graphic right now. Is the Dinner with Danny Selbach cuisine. So what I've done with that is I've found a list of
What is
what
it?
you can
Dinner with Danny, Cell Block Cuisine.
cuisine. Yeah.
I love it. Oh
Um,
my god.
so what I've done is I've gone and looked up the commissary, the California list. What can you get in the commissary? And I went, because you can get underwear and you
Right.
get all this stuff, but
Mhm.
there's a section that's foods and snacks and sodas, and just one little section. And so my limit on my shopping list for that series is that list. You know, so I can't,
Nice.
I can't get anything other than, um, thank you, Joni. Um, I can't get anything out of, I mean, nothing. I mean, I can't use my spices. I can't use any of that. So I can only use
Right.
what is on that list. And I have to come up with a recipe using what is on that list and nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, granted,
Hi,
I am
Witness.
not going to, hi, witness, I am not going to cook it on an iron. And a lot of it's going to be microwave, because they have access to a microwave. One of the videos I watched this guy take his iron and put two shampoo bottles that he taped down, and then put a bottom of a locker on top of that, and made a griddle doing that. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to burn my house down. So,
Something Duncan. My husband would probably do that.
out in survival mode,
Yeah. Like
plug in the
MacGyver.
iron. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're in survival mode, you're using a fire, so that makes like a little bit easier. But
I
um
I kind of like this. It's a little bit morbid, but I have a dark sense of
people's
humor.
last
How about a
meal.
series where you cook people's last meal? So what do they usually ask for their last meal before they get
Yeah, before they get
usually like what?
gastric
Like lobster?
lobster and steaks, and I mean, some of them are odd. Some of them are pizzas. Um, I can't remember some. There was one of them
I
that was.
I kind of love it, Joe. Joe
That's kind of
DeCircle.
an interesting concept.
Like,
As I
yeah,
get
it's like a
into
contrast.
as I get into the stuff with Danny, because the difference between last meals for capital punishment,
That's
death sentence.
sorry, that's
Okay,
awful. I shouldn't be
those
laughing, but
meals that they ask for are done not in the prison. They're actually they send out for those a lot of times, because
mhm.
people are asking for specifics things. And interestingly, the state of Texas, they no longer do that. They don't allow the some Big Macs and fries and a Coke. There were those, um, but apparently someone took advantage of the last meal thing and ordered filet mignon and a prime
Watch out,
rib and
listen.
all of this stuff, and then didn't eat it. He did it just to get to him, and so that's. Oh yes, and from a poet, his book. Yeah,
Yes. Yes, congratulations. Thanks for the
can,
reminder. I was gonna try to find
yeah.
it on Amazon, but now I'll excuse what if I
That's
copy that?
amazing. I am so
Yeah.
proud of Brian. So
Yes.
proud. Just like I'm so proud of Liz as well. for
I
her book.
know.
And,
Yeah, her book's
you know,
awesome.
it's a books are
I
a
gotta
labor
order
of
that.
love. And I mean, I have
He's been working hard on this. Yeah.
yeah, I have one that a cookbook that I put together that's low carb for my daughter. It's probably got 100 recipes. Um, and it is very what it is Christmas gifts and birthday gifts for the next 20 years, because and I need to get back started on it. It's at that time of year. All I have to do is it's in sections, so I have to make a page back forward and back, which is 2 recipes that I laminate and I put for each section, and they put them all together, and I send it to her, and that's her present for these. It's another set of recipes to go in that book. So she's probably got 150 recipes in that book right now. So it's not quite ready. It wouldn't be good to publish at this point, but it will come. And I will. Awesome.
Yeah. For fuck's sake, send Goldie the link when you have it.
Yes,
I love
definitely.
that.
But that one's called Sinfully Low Carb. So
Ooh,
that's
simply.
that's that one. And then and then the ones that are in the videos, as I get more of them, when I get more of those up, then I will go back it, because every one of those recipes are written.
I think you need to do more of these Sunday streams, because I love because I don't know. I know I'm not that witty. I probably am not the first person to think of it, but I was just like, okay, Sunday and I'm like, Sinful Sunday.
Someday.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because it's
And
Sunday.
somebody let Reese know that she will be getting a sugar-free fudge that she can have any time of year. She
Reese,
can,
yes.
yeah, she'll be getting a recipe for that any time of year, and to her heart's desire. It was like I couldn't have fudge for the longest time, and I was so upset
Wow.
because it's one of my favorite things.
What did Duncan do now? He's just, oh yeah, Mr. Winning.
And so I finally made. No, I get your last meal. We put a damper on the enjoyment of it. Yeah. Well,
I
I don't
just
know.
saw that Goldie was saying Duncan, ha ha ha. I'm like, oh God, what did he do now?
But
Sorry about
anyway,
that.
so I will I will be sending her, since I don't have her email, I can't keep missing it. Her address is on her page, and I know Goldie has it. I just asked
Are you
Goldie,
talking
but
about Reese? Reese?
yeah,
Yeah, she says it on her stream. I think it's her name. It's like
like
Reese
Reese
Quibell,
something.
Reese
Yeah,
Quibell at Gmail. Yep. I'm
Gmail
pretty
could be.
sure. I'm pretty sure her Facebook group. If you go on her Facebook group,
Yeah.
I think all her information is right at the top.
Okay.
Like there's a pinned thing. There's her wish list. There's her all kinds of information.
Well, my thought
Her
was to make
address.
my thought was to make a little batch of that fudge, put it in a jar or a box, you
Send
know,
it. Yeah,
send it to
her
her with the
PO box is
recipe.
on there.
Yeah, with the recipe attached, and so she has the whole thing. But the thing about it is that way she can make it, and she can just literally eat that fudge. I
Mhm.
mean, moderation, but you could definitely eat that fudge.
Right. Oh, Joni, you don't have to do that, but I would love, yes. Because, like I said, I don't keep anything that I crochet, and I don't make blankets anymore. I kind of wish I did, but I used to make them when I was in the you know what. But
Hmm.
no, I haven't made a blanket in years. But you don't have to. But if you wanted to, that would be wonderful. Thank you. I would treasure it. Totally treasure. So we're at the 2 hour mark just
Yeah,
about. So we
we
probably
are.
should wind
Write it
down.
up. I do want to say I saw something Clearwater
Oh yeah,
Claire.
click it,
She was
click
she's
it
having
right
a
up.
yeah, she's having a rough weekend apparently.
Aw.
Claire, you have our hearts with you. We're always here for you. If you ever need anything, just reach out.
Yes,
So we all will be willing to step in and cheer you up. My boss, my visiting my ex boss, my mentor yesterday made his day. He'd been having a bad day, and
Mhm.
so definitely, we are here for you. We love you, and we don't want you to get emotional over the weekend, but you're
Right.
never alone. We're always here.
Absolutely. We're here for each other,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so emotions are okay. It's
Hmm.
like I've been crying my eyes out all week, but yeah, we're all here for each other. So thank
So
you, everyone. Thank you,
definitely.
Sin.
Oh, no problem. We'll do this again.
This is
This was
so
fun.
much fun. All right, everyone, have a great day.
So are you
See you
telling me I'm going
later.
to have to wake up early every Sunday now? Got it.
You gotta do Cynful Sundays. I mean,
Oh,
I'm probably gonna have some like Claire. I think Claire wanted to be on next week, and
awesome.
but yeah, I mean, we could do back to back. I don't care, depending
Whenever
on
you
what's going
need
on.
me, you
Or
just
you
let me
can go
know.
on. Yeah, you can do. You are fine on your own. You're a force, and you're super entertaining and funny. So yeah,
All right. Well, I
awesome.
had a ball. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, everybody.
Um,
Thank you.
y'all have a great day.
Bye bye.